Pete, an absolutely fabulous second half performance from us, as good as we've looked all season. What do you say to the players after such a brilliant effort but a gutting 1-point defeat?
Well, we used the word after Leeds, frustration. I think frustration again. First half, we had a lot of possession, couldn't turn it into points. In the second half, we really put Cornwall under a lot of pressure. Scored 3 well-worked tries, probably could have scored 2 more, and sort of in control of that game, 6 points. But I've got to be critical of the officiating. I thought some of the decisions were just, you know, we say a lot of the time when you go away from home, you've got to be 2 scores better than the opposition to win, because unfortunately the officials bring Pirates back in with a penalty try at the death, you know, when kicking was hard, to give them the kick under the sticks to win by a point, and some very, very marginal decisions for my liking. And I think we did enough to win the game, Ollie, and that's the frustrating thing. Last week our performance wasn't up to scratch against Leeds, but today it was, and we did enough to come here and win. And I just feel for the players, really, because they put a lot of effort in, some outstanding individual performances, especially Dan Koroi and Bola up front. Danny Kenny had one of his best games. Grant Shields back in the team. There were some fantastic efforts. To lose by a point is it's frustrating.
Yeah, it just comes down to fine margins in this league. Just at the end, to have it snatched away from us is a real cruel one to take.
It is. 18-6 at half-time, but we had the wind, quite a strong wind down here on a heavy pitch, and Pete Lydon's kicking game really paid dividends in that second half, got us in some good areas, and so we scored some tries even from deep, and Pirates looked out on their feet, but credit to them, they mustered enough energy to get that maul going. It seemed to be fair, their most potent weapon of the day. And we struggle to deal with it at times, and you know, coming to Penzance is the longest trip of the year. It's a long way to come to lose a game, so it's a tough Sunday bus trip home, and with a week off now without a fixture, a tough one to take. But looking ahead, we've got 3 big games coming up with Jersey, who we're very familiar with this year, back at the Rec or the Rag in 2 weeks' time.
A real heavy pitch today, some pretty poor conditions, but we've played some great running rugby out there. Looked very great in attack.
Well, we did last week as well. We just couldn't finish last week. We got some very talented players. I said Dan Koroi, you know, in another life he was a fly half, I'm sure, because some of his offloading and playing, and a lot of the forwards, actually, the interplay amongst the forwards was really excellent today, and really stressed Cornwall. So. Really pleased, and hopefully as the grounds firm up a little bit going into the spring, there's a lot to be positive about, but just against such a close competitor as Cornish Pirates, you know, they go above us in the league today after that result. A tough one to take. Considering
a fairly poor first half showing, still, I know we lost, but you must be delighted with that second half performance.
Yeah, but we've spoken in the past about an 80-minute performance, yeah. And it's often our first half performance which is good, and we sort of go off the boil in the second. Today it was the other way around. You know, 3 second half tries and only 6 points in that first half when we were dominant, had a lot of territory, we couldn't get over the line. So we'll probably look back at missed opportunities. You know, we scored 3 tries. On another day we could have scored 6 or 7. So at some point this team is going to let loose, and somebody's going to be on the end of a hiding. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and just finally, in the together with the players after the game, was that positive?
Yeah, I think it's just some frustration in there. You know, there's a lot of effort gone in there from everyone involved in the game, and you know, to lose it's a hard place to be. You know, you want that elation of a win, and to be snatched at the death. You know, you're sort of mentally preparing for a win, and then it's taken from you. So it's going to be a frustrating bus trip home, unfortunately.
Well done today, unlucky. Right. Dan, firstly, a brilliant performance from yourself. That one must be really difficult to take, that defeat.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those games, you know, we're so close and the result didn't go our way, but I'm very proud of the boys. You know, today we were down in the first half, come back like that and fight to the very last minute. And I'm really proud of them, but the result didn't go our way today.
Yeah, that second half performance, we just looked like a different team. We looked like a fantastic outfit, some brilliant running rugby, yourself included. As I say, it's just a real gutting one to have it snatched away from us at the end.
Yeah, it starts from the week. We had an awesome week.
Yeah.
Building up to this game, we knew what the weather was going to be like. The ground was going to be muddy, so we knew that the way we were going to play is close rugby. And in that second half, we knew we had the wind, and they don't have the wind, so they're going to have to run the whole time. So trapping them down in their half was the way to win this game. But like I said, we were very unlucky at the end.
We were 18-6 down at half time. Do you think ultimately that was what was lacking in the first half?
Yeah, I think so. We got so close and we never got the points. What's the problem in that first half? We camped down in their half for at least 20 minutes in that first half. But we talked about it at half time. It's about finishing. And in the second half, as you see, 2 of those tries were awesome. We finished at the end, and it's from all those quick plays we did. Even though the weather was like this, but the boys played with confidence. Yeah.
Some of the offloading was fantastic from yourself and Bolla were showing your Fijian style, but then particularly for the Pete Lydon try over in that corner, just offloads coming from everywhere. Just it looked like a side with real confidence this afternoon.
No, I think we trained this in the whole week. But me and Bolla were talking about it at half time. They rush up quick, so there's going to be an outside man free. So everyone knew about it and everyone started doing it. We just started and everyone did it. So that's the good thing about our team. We adapt very well in the second half.
It's a tough league. It's a very tight league. Pirates go above us in the table now. I guess frustration at the moment, but ultimately we might look back at that as a losing bonus point that could perhaps do us a favour.
Yeah, we still got 6 games to go until the top 4 gets announced, and we'll take this and we'll learn from it. And this week off we have next week is going to benefit for us because I know we'll come back fresh for that Jersey game at home. So I know the boys we're disappointed we lost, but improvement and effort was very good today.
Yep. As you say, a few days of reviewing and a bit of trading now, and then a weekend off to freshen up for the visit of Jersey. I know they've been in great form, so that'll be a big one.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll worry about Jersey in the week come, but for now, I know the boys, we need the week off and just refresh again, come back harder and stronger for that Jersey game at home.
Well done today, great performance.